Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mazwis TV. My name is Evans. Okay, I'm still your mathematics facilitator. We are still solving questions, but today we are looking at the teacher licensure exams, July 2025. So we are looking at the general professional knowledge, which is the numeracy. Okay, all right. Yes. So we are going through all these things. We shall be taking some of these questions and look at how best we can go through the solution, since some of our teachers uh, will set their exams in October. So um, I entreat each and everyone to follow Mazways TV on YouTube. Please kindly subscribe to my YouTube, like and share the videos for me so that anytime I post new videos or anytime I update, you'll get the new ones. All right. You can also get Mazways TV on TikTok. If you go to my bio, the YouTube link is there. You click on the link, it takes you straight to the YouTube channel. Then you can watch most of my videos on mathematics concepts. So let's not waste my time. This is the question we have before us. So in this question, we are saying that a rectangular floor of dimensions 4 meters by 3 meters to be tiled fully with 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters square tiles. What is the minimum number of tiles that will be required without any broken ones to tile the entire floor? So this is what we have today. Okay, good. So this, we are dealing with what, a rectangular floor and a square. So two different what, two-dimensional shapes. Okay, so as we know that for a rectangle, opposite sides are equal, and for square, all sides are what, equal. So if you are saying 4 by 4, it means that one of the sides of the rectangle is 4 meters and the other side is what, 3 meters. So if we are to take this as our rectangle, then we can conclude that the length is what, takes what, the 4 meters. Okay, and then the width or the breadth also takes what, the 3 meters. All right, then we can also choose this as our square, okay, which is also given as 20 by 20 centimeters. Okay, so looking at this, you realize that the two have what, different units. If you look at the rectangular floor, it has what, meters. By the case of the square, it has centimeters. So in this case, before we be able to get the right answer, all that we need to do is to either change from centimeters to meters or change from meters to centimeters. But in this case, if you look at the options provided, you realize that if we change from centimeters to meters, we'll not be able to get the right answer or the right option. So if that is the case, then we shall rather change from meters to centimeters. So it means we are going to change each of the dimensions, okay, of the rectangular floor to centimeters. So if we are saying that, but how many minutes, or how many meters gave what, centimeters? That's what we are going to talk about. So we know that 1 meter is equal to what, 100 centimeters. If 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, then what do we do? For the length side of the rectangle, which is 4 meters, we can just multiply by what, 100 centimeters and divide by what, 1 meter, so that we can get the what, the in centimeters. So in that case, if you multiply, we know that we are getting what, 400 centimeters. The same thing if you multiply 3 meters by the 100 centimeters and divide by 1 meter, we are getting 300 meters. Have you gotten that? Good. So it's very what, simple. We just what, change from the meters to centimeters. Okay, and this is what we are getting. So once we are able to change from the meters to centimeters, then we have the same needs. It becomes easy for us to work with. Okay, so in the question, what does it at all say? It means that if we take the rectangular floor and we take the square tiles, how many of the square tiles will cover or fill the entire rectangular floor? That's what the question demands. Okay, great. Yes, so that's what we are saying. So how many of these 20 by 20 square tiles will fill what? How many of them will fill this entire what rectangular floor? That is what we are looking at. Okay, so if that's the case, how do we do it? It's just a matter of what finding the area. Okay, because this is the area that covers what the entire um rectangular floor. So we find the area of the rectangle and also find the area of the um square. Then whatever we get, we divide the area of the rectangle by the area of the square. And whatever we get gives us what? The minimum number of tiles that can fill or that is required for the entire floor. Have you gotten that? Great. So if that's the case, well, then what's the area of finding what? Rectangle. As we know, these ones are basic. So we are saying that it is what? Length times width. Okay, so for area of rectangle, that is length times what? Width. So if we have length times width, it's just a matter of multiplying what? 400 centimeters by 300 centimeters like this. Okay, so you see that it is very what? Basic. All right, so 400 centimeters times 300 centimeters, what do we get? We are going to get what? um I think we are getting what? 120,000 centimeters squared. Okay, because it is area, so it should be in square. Then we also calculate for the area of the square as well. Okay, which is also what? 20 centimeters multiplying 20 centimeters, and that also gives us what? 400 centimeters square. Have you gotten that? Good. So once we are able to get this, then it becomes what? Easy for us to find. Because all that we do is that we want to know the number of square tiles that will fill this or that will be appropriate for the entire floor. Then we just divide the area of the rectangular by the area of the square, and that uh, gives us the minimum number of tiles. If that's the case, then what are we getting? We are going to get what? 300. Yes, so it means that we need 300 square tiles, okay, to be able to fill this rectangular floor. So you see that there, then the answer becomes what? B. So very easy, very simple. Okay, yeah, so that is the question one we have. Good. So um for question three, we are saying that the average score of four students in a mathematics class or in a mathematics class test was 6. When the score of a fifth student who took the test later was added, the average score of the class became 7. What was the score of the fifth student? So this one we are dealing with what? The mean, okay, the mean, the median, the mode. So in this case, when you are asking for average score, know that we are looking for what? The mean. Okay, the mean score. That's what we are looking at. So um we need to know um what is giving us what? An average. Okay, when you're asked to find an average or when you're asked to find the mean, we know that the mean or the average is giving us what? This is what is given. Okay, it's just as the average is the same as the mean, which is what? The sum of what? The scores is the sum of the scores divided by the number of what? The students. Okay, that is the formula we normally use. Okay, so if that's the case, the first set, once we have the average score of 4 students, okay, and the average score of that 4 student was given as 6, so we need to know the sum. When we say sigma, okay, when we say summation, it means that we want to know the total number of scores each of the students what had. Okay, so that one we don't know, and that represents the numerator. So we need to look out for that one. Since we are given the average as 6 and the number of students as 4, we can just substitute and find what? The total number of scores the 4 students what had. When we add all of them, their scores together, what are we going to get? Okay, so if that's the case, then we can just substitute the values and then find the summation of their scores. Okay, so if that's the case, what will be the summation of their scores? We know that we are multiplying what 6 by 4, and that gives us what 24. So it means that these four students, okay, if we add all their scores together, we are going to get 24. And if we divide it by their total number, which is 4, we get what? The average, okay, which is 6. Good. Once we are able to get that, now then the following sentence is also saying that when the score of the fifth student who took the test was added, the average score was what? 7. So this time, because we are saying there's another person who also wrote, then we need to add that person, his score, okay, to the already calculated number of scores, the total number of scores of the 4 students. We need to add the score of what? The fifth student to that 24 and divide it by their number. And their number, because previously we had only 4 students and this time there has been another person, then we also add it to the number of students. So if we have 4 and one person has joined, then it means that we are going to get 5 people now. Okay, then we also add, because we are saying that to find the average speed, you just have to find their total score and divide by their number. Okay, how many of them? If we add all their totals and divide by their number, it gives us the average score or the mean. Okay, so if that's the case, then we can say that we can let y be the score of the fifth student because we don't know his score, and that is what the question demands. Okay, so once we let y represent that, we can just add it to the 24 and divide by 4. Meanwhile, we are given the average also as 7. So if that's the case, then we add, so it will be sigma of what the individual scores plus the y, okay, which is divided by the n, which was 4, okay, by, and then we add 1 to it. Great. So once we have that one, we just substitute our values and move on. But we know that we have the average as what? 7, okay, and we also have the n plus 1, which is 5. Okay, because another person or one student has been added up, so we just get what? 5. We just substitute these values and then find the value of what? Y. Okay, so if that's the case, then we can proceed. All right, great. So once we substitute, this is what we are going to get. Okay, so how do we find y? It's just a matter of what? Multiplying the, or we have to do cross multiplication, and that is for 7 times 5 gives us what? 35. Okay, so we have 35, which is equal to 24 plus y. If we have this, what do? We just group like terms. And we are grouping like terms, it means 35 minus 24, which is equal to what? Y. Okay, yes, so if that's the case, what will be the answer for y? Then y is going to be what? 11. Okay, so we have 11 as our answer. Now let's go through the options and see. Yes, so we realize that we have C as our answer. So you see that this is very, very easy, very, very simple. Okay, so let's end here and continue next time. Now, as I said, we shall be solving them one after the other. Okay, so we are done with the first 3. So in our next video, we are going to solve the rest. Okay, so we take our time. So I entreat each and everyone to follow me on both YouTube and TikTok, and that is what? Mazways TV. Mazways TV. As I said, a lot of people who are finding it difficult to reach out to my channel because there are other channels also having the same name, that's Mazways TV. Okay, but please, if you go to TikTok, you search Mazways TV, you get my channel there, you get the name. Go to my bio, You go to my bio, you see the YouTube link there. Okay, click on the link, it will directly take you to the YouTube channel. So when you get there, kindly subscribe, like, and share the video for me. So thank you very much for your time. See you next time. Bye bye.